This episode of Let's Find Out with co-host Diego is brought to you by the Snarly Yow, located at the Needful Things Emporium in Charlestown, West Virginia.
The Snarly Yow, located at the Needful Things Emporium in downtown Charlestown, West Virginia. T-shirts, artwork, cryptid books. The Snarly Yow has it. Snarly coffee, snarly prints, snarly beard care. The Snarly Yow has it. Cryptid spice rubs, cryptid soaps, cryptid candles. The Snarly Yow has it. The Snarly Yow is located at the Needful Things Emporium, 218 West Washington Street, Charlestown, West Virginia. For all your cryptid needs, remember, the Snarly Yow has it. Make sure to tell them co-host Diego sent ya.
Are you curious about the unknown, the unexplainable? Do you find yourself intrigued by the mysterious and paranormal side of our world? Join us on an adventure into the world of inexplicable discoveries and investigations that may someday give us the final answer as to what may be behind the veil of reality. The borders of space and time have opened once again, and transmitting from the mountains of West Virginia, it's time once again for Let's Find Out with Diego. The universe is waiting for you.
The borders of space and time have opened once again and transmitting from the mountains of West Virginia. It's another episode of Let's Find Out with Diego. Thank you for taking this journey with me. On this episode of Let's Find Out, this is an all-star episode of Let's Find Out. We'll be stirring up a little ancient Rome and a little rasslin. The new book by J.E. Shook, Gluteus Maximus versus Roland Dyce, is out now with a whole different style of storytelling, and it's published by Zombie Media. Now, before we begin, let me introduce to the listeners my good friend and my brother from another paranormal mother, and guest co-host Adam, the historian ghost hunter. Adam, my friend, brother, how are you, man? What's cooking?
What's up, Diego, man? I'm glad to be back on. Man, I see we're back on each other's shows a lot. I'm excited to kind of join you here with some awesome guests. We've been backstage shooting the shit, some old school wrestling talk. I'm the only non-wrestler here, but I'm such a mark, dude. I'm such a fan that I almost feel like I'm in the locker room right now just watching you guys I'm excited. So thank you for inviting me. Sure,
man. You hit some of those crazy stories that we talked about earlier, which we'll skip out the whole thing. There might be a whole show down the road. But before we start, what's going on with the podcast, man? How's the tours are going?
Good. The tours are going to be starting up. It's still frozen here in Maine. As I mentioned, it was about -5 the other day. It's going to warm up to 40, but we got snow. I got some tours planned for the spring. I got like Stephen King's house, the movie filming sites from Pet Sematary. I got that. I got like the movie filming sites for Casper, all in Maine that were shot and filmed to get that located. Of course, America's first Republican vice president underneath Abraham Lincoln, Hannibal Hamlin, died in Maine, and he's buried in Maine, and I know where all that is. So that's working out good. Podcast next week, Thursday, the leap year. I have Tony Spera, the owner of Annabelle. Everybody knows Tony, and Lorraine Warren's son-in-law. He's going to be my guest Thursday, live at 7 p.m. on Facebook. And I get excited to talk to J.E. Shook, my newest client, as well. You're my client for Historically Haunted Booking. It's awesome to have a couple of wrestlers on as my agent, as my agents, and to have him, talk about his book, man, and be an author. You know me, Diego. I'm just like you, brother. We love to promote ourselves. We love to, but it's a team thing. And I think with you on this new network, teaming up with Zombie Media, it's a home run, dude. It's going to be a great year, and I'm just excited to be part of it. So, yeah, let's talk to the big Glute and J.E. Let's get him out here.
Yeah, we're going to do that. It's a big year for us all in the family, for sure. Now, it's been many years since I've seen this guy, and the last time I remember seeing him, I think it was in 2008 or 9 in Power Pro Wrestling down in Sanford, in whatever that little theater is called. The big Gluteus Maximus. My brother, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad, man. I was just talking about earlier about, remember you, we only wrestled one time, and of course, I counted the lights because I took one hell of a finisher from you that night. It's beautiful.
I mean, someone's got to take it, so it might as well have been you.
I love it.
Nothing wrong with that, man. That's how you pay the bills sometimes. Going back to the Power Pro days, and up until you retired, man, you did a lot of things. You what are the other companies you worked for after that?
I'd say like one of the major ones would have been CWA, Champions with Attitude, down in South Carolina, which really rocket propelled a lot of things after that, considering that they brought in a lot of talent through a lot of like TNA and a couple other outside promotions. But other than that, I mean, I just right time, right place, was able to get my foot in the door, trained by specific people. And most time, everyone comes up to me and asks me, "Hey, I remember, they'll be like, 'Hey, Hail Caesar.'" I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I saw you wrestle down somewhere, on TV." I'm like, "Okay, that's great. I love it." But yeah, I mean, just
Cool.
just staying busy at it is just, it's not for everybody for over a specific amount of time. So yeah, once you get in, you got to get out of it as fast as you can.
Yeah, I did 18 years in a promoter. So I think it was collectively 30 years in that crazy kind of business, man. So that's a good long time.
Yeah, I think you definitely got 10 more on me. I'd say I was counting 20, and it off and on, obviously after injuries and stuff like that.
Same here, man. I'm on the shelf now, but I'm doing awesome things too. And so you and I have a lot of history with the man of the hour here, the man with all the power. And I see the looks on your face because I'm going to talk about our good friend Jay Shook, author now, and we have a long history with him. I've tagged with him down in Power Pro. He's probably one of your greatest adversaries, nemesis in pro wrestling, and here we are now, man. You guys have buried the hatchet to some now, and we're going to be talking about the new book that's come out now, which actually, bears your name on it.
Yeah, no, the book is about me. I mean, of all people, he comes out of nowhere, stealing my stories, stealing everything that I've done in the past. The great Holy Roman Empire rules the world as usual and wins. But of course, he can't come up with an original idea on his own. But of course, he's got to use me for everything.
Look, you were in wrestling long enough to know we're all thieves, man. So this is what happens. And speaking of the thieves, let's bring in our guest today. I'm kidding, brother. Jeb, congrats on the new book, man. You were actually my first guest on this show. Before then with the prior show, and then you were my very first guest on Let's Find Out, and I will never forget that. And you kind of helped me launch into something new, a new stratosphere of podcasting. So I appreciate that.
Thanks, man. It's good to be back. It's always a good time when I'm hanging around Diego, and especially the Glute. Two guys I had a lot of fun wrestling back in the day, especially because he won't admit it, but this big guy we call it the Glute. Yeah, we had this thing called a loser eat dog food match. Guess who was snacking on kibble that night? It wasn't me.
Oh,
yeah, we covered him.
You cheated to win. You cheated. You used all the black people against me.
You know what? A win's a win. That's all I'm saying. A win's a win.
You know what? Everyone's just sour that I always keep it winning against you every single time, and I agree to this stupid dog food match. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm the one that created it. That's right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I'm the one that created the match. You just went along with it for the ride, as usual.
So let me ask you, do you remember what the finish was?
Yeah, I had to take dog food to the face.
Alpo, I believe. Alpo.
No, but you normally in a dog food match, somebody gets pinned or whatever, submits, then they eat the dog food. So what was the concept of it? He was going to make you eat it? Is that how you win?
No, I think we did some sort of bump off. I can't remember 100%. I know we had like a thing of can. I think we had a thing of cans in the ring.
Of cans on top of a table set up with dog food, and we had like the gourmet bowls full of dog food sitting there waiting to be enjoyed.
Man, I'm trying to remember. I don't exactly remember how the finish went. That's been so long.
I don't remember either.
Now, Adam, you've been
you know what? You won some. I don't remember. And I was running. I was like, I ain't eating that crap. I don't know what. I don't even know what's in it. I'm not sure if it's even safe. I mean, come on. Loser eats dog food. You think I'm going to eat dog food?
My favorite part was for the rest of the Power Pro until Power Pro folded, whenever this fool would walk out to the ring, the entire crowd would start barking. And it did not stop. It never died.
That's not right.
And every single place that we went, I mean, shut up! Oh. I'm like, oh my good Lord. You think these people are like apes or something?
Every time we had a rematch, I would look at the crowd and I would bark at the crowd and they'd bark back. And it was wonderful. I loved it.
Now, Adam, you're a big wrestling fan, and dog food matches can be kind of outrageous. What's the most craziest thing you've seen in a wrestling match for somebody, like whatever it would be, whoever gets pinned? There used to be these ones, whoever gets pinned, eat a dog food, whoever gets pinned shaves their head or wears a dress. What have you seen out there, some of these finishes?
Oh, you remember the one where the loser had to kiss Vince McMahon's ass in the 90s? He kissed my ass or whatever. But there was a dog food one. Didn't Roman Reigns have to eat dog food once, if I remember right, on Raw? I think I remember him eating dog, or Baron Corbin did. He made Baron Corbin eat it or something.
We did it long before he did.
I could see that. I could see Baron Corbin eating it.
But I'm honestly, dude, I'm marking out right now just to hear you guys talk about the dressing room and planning out the match and Diego, as you saying, taking chair shots earlier, that's fucking wild to me because I almost tried out for wrestling 10 years ago, but I'm just in Maine. There is the school for Scotty Too Hottie runs a school here, and I think Tony Atlas used to, but I just never thought it was enough. But I watch local stuff. I'll go and watch the local stuff, and I think it's better than the big dogs, like the independent, like you dudes. You guys are the ones fighting for the spot. The big dogs are already whatever, Randy and them. I mean, Randy Orton's still great, but you know what I mean. But the independent leagues, man, I know I've seen some barbed wire matches and fluorescent bulb matches and shit like that. I don't know as far as you shaking your head. You guys, man, this is awesome. You guys took all the stuff. You guys are aching, like you said. 20 years for you, Glute. 30 for Diego. What about you, Jeb?
I did it actively about 16, and I was having some sciatic nerve problems and a lot of issues, and I had to cut it. In 2014, I cut it. I said, I was actually with the Glute. We went down, did a double shot. We went down to the beach. We did a show for Steve Carino, which, if everybody remembers him, I think he was ECW champion for a while. Then we come back and went over to Frankie Fontane's place, and I believe it was Havelock, and I did a match, and I took a superplex, and my leg just went out. And I'm in my sciatic nerve. And I remember I went and had to finish the match. And when I got in the back, I laid down and tried to stretch my leg out, and it wouldn't. And there's these real big brothers called the Gorilla Squad. They were like big gorillas. But they had to pick me up and put me on my feet so I could get off the floor. I could not walk on my own. I was like, it's time to quit. It's time. I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Time to call it a career.
And those were your only friends, too. Those are the ones that helped you win the Loser Eats Dog Food match, if you don't forget.
You know what? Usual. Them guys are 6'4", 6'7". They're big guys. I like having them on my side.
Hey, why don't you tell them the story about the time a big black snake got loose in the ring?
Oh, see.
Oh, are we really going to bring up Todd in this?
KFC, we were training. Kenneth Franklin Carter.
We were wrestling where we were training, and we got a guy that wrestled us. He did. I come up with the idea of a gimmick called KFC because of MVP. And my idea was and I was afraid somebody think it was racist, but when I told everybody, they loved it. We'd get a black guy, I call him KFC, and it'd be Kenneth Franklin Carter. Well, I come up with Kenneth and Carter. I think Sandy Franklin. And my thing was, don't relate it to the chicken place, but we gave everybody Todd this gimmick. He ran with it. He come out with a bucket of KFC chicken, a big gold medallion around his neck, and he come out with Snoop Dogg's and shizzle my nizzle and all of that. It was great. But we were in training one day. He had on basketball shorts, right? Apparently, he wasn't wearing any underwear under the shorts because he picked me up, body slammed me, and when I looked up, there was this giant anaconda wanting to bite me.
Oh,
bite me! I stood up the ring. Tubuku, yeah, I was like, you don't know how much fear I had in my body. I had to slide out the ring, get away from him. I'm like, dude, you got to tie that around your thigh or something, man. This ain't right.
Shit, that's fucking.
That's why I'm getting a PG rating after this.
Oh my god.
No, see this whole part. I don't know if I can put this on the show at this point.
Just cut it out.
Cut it. Got to. It is what it is.
Oh,
it's
we
funny.
can't cut this. We can't cut the snake out, man. It's illegal. And I'll leave you one
foreign
more
object.
It is an international object now. That's what it's called. I did this one show in New Jersey because I used to do this. I used to go to Jersey for a bit. Then it was Virginia, North Carolina, go up and down. There was this cat up there in Jersey, and while we were in the ring, he had like one of those forearm paddings and elbow pads, of course. He used to take this lighter fluid and spray it all over his arm. Then he would light it on fire.
Whoa!
And he caught me with like hellacious clothesline. Thankfully, nothing in me, caught on fire because, of course, hairs aren't on the bodies of wrestlers. But let me tell you this, man, it was a little crispy.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Hey, has anyone tried to cut you, like in a like a hardcore match, and then you tell them like, no, I'd rather have nobody do it. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it myself. Has someone cut you personally? I mean, ever in a match like that?
The hard way, but never voluntarily.
One time, I think I remember like somewhere near Tar Heel or somewhere near Hosky. I can't exactly remember, but I was in this one match, and it's the last match. I wore the white toga. If you believe it or not, after that match, the toga was red.
Oh.
And I'm not even sure what happened. I think Baby Doll kept that toga. I think she tried to clean it as best she could. But yeah, someone tried cutting me one time. I was so pissed. And I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Well, that sounds like something that would happen in a Hosky.
Probably. Did it?
Probably New Jack.
Stop.
Sounds like something New Jack would do.
Okay.
But yeah, it's crazy.
I only had to get crappy on a guy a couple of times. I remember one of my friends is a former kickboxing champion, and he teaches martial arts, and he had taught me how to do an armbar. And it wasn't 6 months later, I was in a match. I was somewhere at the coast with this little guy. He's about my height, but he was a skinny little runt. He had this ego attitude problem. He's a big tough guy, even though he weighed 150 pounds at about 6 feet tall. And I ended up rolling him up in that because he was like swinging shots at me. I'm like, dude, lighten up. It's almost a shoot shot he's hitting me with. I'm like, dude, you racked me one more time. I rolled him over and caught him with an armbar, and I bridged. And I made sure I hyperextended the absolute crap out of his elbow. And he went from being a tough guy to squealing like a pig.
Wow.
He tapped to win the match. He tapped, and I rolled out the ring and went in the back. And I told the promoter, I said, I'm sorry, but I ain't going to repeat what I said to him. But that was one of the few bad experiences I had with somebody. But,
so does that happen a lot, guys? I got to ask all of you. Like, does that, like, as far as catching receipts and stuff, like, is there people that you work with? You're like, I ain't working with this guy ever again. Or it's like, hey, man, slow it. Like, what was it that time that Brock Lesnar told that to Braun Strowman? He's like, slow down, cool down. And then he fucking lit him up because Braun was hitting him too hard.
a receipt's not that uncommon.
That's common?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you pop somebody and get a legit hit on them, you usually can expect one to come back. I mean, they'll get you one time and it'll be even, but
I've actually been in a couple fights with guys that didn't even know what they're doing. Don't even need to be in the ring.
those are the tough guys.
I mean, I get told all the time, say, hey, I need to stiffen up a little bit. These guys don't understand what's going on. And once it could be the nicest guys in the world, but unfortunately, once you get in there, I mean, we're trying to protect the reputation. Looking like garbage? No, sorry. And after getting pulled apart in the back, the guy's saying, you want to fight, you want to fight. I mean, the guy's dead now, unfortunately, but he ain't messing with me anymore.
No. You got to end up hurting someone or yourself, or like you said, the reputation. If you're not doing the moves right, you shouldn't be in there. You got no business. Go sell popcorn at the stands. Don't be in the ring if you can't do it.
You'll make more money selling popcorn, to tell you the truth. So
Yeah,
now
you will.
let's go to something a little bit different, Jeb, because it all started with Tepes, and then it went forward from there. For the listeners of Let's Find Out, want to know more how this started with you, with your writing career. Let's go back a few years to with Tepes.
Vampire.
Yes.
Well, I had we had a guy to wrestle with. I think you knew Scrapyard Dog, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He had wrote a book, and there's somebody else.
Rip-off?
Actually, he was awesome, dude. I mean, me and him disagreed on everything outside of wrestling, but inside of wrestling,
No.
great wrestler, man. But outside of it, I was this way. We were dead opposites. But he wrote a book, and then I knew another guy. I can't remember his name. He wrote a book, and I thought maybe I could do this. And I'm working a truck all day, so I was listening to a bunch of just horror type stuff and cryptid stuff and all these different tales. And I'm like, I could do this. And I started thinking about vampire lore. So instead of doing Dracula, I went back and I was listening to old cryptic zombie tales, like how it originated. and a lot of stuff like that. And I just started slowly putting it together. And I thought, well, can I write a book? I don't know. I said, but because I was never taught how to write a book, outside of just our wonderful public school system, which we all know how wonderful that really is.
Wah,
And
wah, wah.
I sat down and came up with some ideas, and I started researching some stuff, and I just sat down and started writing. And before I knew it, I had the first book done. So I was like, that's not too bad. So I tried.
But what got you focus on vampires? Like Lestat? Was it like Bram Stoker, like the old school shit, the black and white horror movies like Nosferatu?
He's copying me again because I used to do a vampire gimmick before the Gluteus Maximus gimmick.
He's not telling you is the first time I met him was at a show. I was 19, and all of a sudden I'm dressed up, and we are a Brood ripoff. I'm like, Gangrel, and I'm like, what is this?
Oh, shit, Gangrel and Edge.
That's right. That's right.
Fluffy skirts, and we had these little cups of blood, which I think was Fruitopia or something. And I'm like, hey, well, this is what they're telling me to do. I guess this is what I'm going to do. I'm 19. I'm going to argue with, but.
Well, I mean, he was a dopey looking person as it was. So, I mean, might as well be the shortest one wearing my shirt, swimming in it.
Dude, Blue's in heel mode the whole show. I love it.
He's always in heel mode, man. He go out to eat, and if he and my girlfriend get together, it is terrible for me. I have a night.
Why don't you just cry us a river? I mean, it's not my fault that you're easy to pick on.
But from there, I wrote the book, and I had made a character that was the hero that was going to come in and stop the villain. And when I got done, I thought, well, I'll make my next book about him. So that's where Akachi come in. And so I sat down, and it didn't take me long to write Akachi. I already knew some of the characters were going to be. I knew how it was going to start and how it was going to end. I just had to come up with a story in the middle. So I've watched a bunch of stuff on how you put books together and you can organize it and all the scientific ways. I don't do that. I literally put it on a book. I'm at 1 through 10, and I put what I wanted each story to tell, what each chapter to tell. And from there, I would just move the story on, and till I get to the finish. So I mean, I'm very rudimentary, I guess you could say, when I'm doing it. But I got ADHD and a lot of imagination, so it helps.
Amen.
That does help now. Yes, absolutely. A lot of great literature there, and now Akachi available in audiobook form too.
Yes, also if you go to I'm Barnes and Noble, you can get it at Barnes and Noble.
No shit, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck, you didn't tell me that. No kidding. Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
That's impressive, yeah.
Is it in the clearance section?
But you can order it from Barnes and Noble.
Is it in the clearance area?
Yeah, it's like $2.99 or something. Just because they knew yours was coming out next, and they wanted more money.
It comes with a free bookmark. Well, I would ask a question to the guys. We'll start with Glute because he's fucking making me laugh and I'm trying to concentrate and be serious. Be serious for 1 second, Big Glute.
Sure.
Have you ever had? Because I'm the paranormal dude. I gotta ask. Have you ever had an experience, man? Ghost, ghoulies, UFO?
You know what? The funny thing is, I used to live next to a cemetery growing up.
No way.
And there's some slave graves in the cemetery. But I've never personally had an experience. But my dad has actually found someone dead in that cemetery.
Dead, murdered?
Yeah.
Or suicide or something? No shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, I've never had any experiences like that. But I've always had people that tell me, stuff like that happened to them. But I can't say that I ever have.
Everybody always says cemeteries are haunted, no one dies there. But if someone fucking got murdered there, it may be haunted.
Yeah, you think?
In Fayetteville, so we call that a Tuesday.
It's what, Fayetteville?
Fayetteville.
Oh, okay. Is that by Farmville?
No.
I'm a
Farmville's by G Vegas, isn't it? Greenville? Isn't it by Greenville?
West Virginia's big, huh?
This was this is in Carolina, Fayetteville, right?
Oh, Carolina. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
You're lower than that. That's right. Okay. I'm thinking Virginia because that's where you're from, Diego. You all from Carolina, you two guys? Jay? Okay. Yeah. Shit, you guys are all the South. I'm the most North fucking cat here, man. I'm the most Yankee guy here.
North of Maine, brother.
I'm a Yankee.
You can keep the snow. Keep that snow up there. We don't want it. We don't need it. Never we're gonna have it.
What's your mailing address? I'll mail you a box of it tomorrow, Glue. I gotta ask you before I ask Jeb about thing. Have you ever been to Maine, Blue? You ever been to England, Massachusetts, Salem?
I have been to Niagara Falls. I think that's the closest thing I've been to, probably.
New York, upstate New York. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's fucking good. Wow, that's gorgeous. Holy shit.
Well, I want to go to a cruise. I want to do a cruise out of New York eventually, hopefully in the future. But we'll see. It is what it is.
The Bermuda Triangle. That'd be awesome. That's my goal to go through and survive.
I've heard it's nice.
England, then would you come to Maine or Massachusetts? Would you come to Boston or?
Not when it's cold. Not when it's cold.
You really don't want the cold, do you?
No, hell no.
Hey, Diego, we found his weakness. I want an ice match with you. I want an igloo match with you. You'll forfeit before it starts.
Exactly. You win.
What is it?
1-0, baby. 1-0.
The White Castle of Doom. Is that what it was?
Exactly. It's got to be.
Diego. Jeb, what about you, J.E.? You ever had any haunted experiences, brother? Any ghosties in your life?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm a fictional writer, so when I start telling these stories, people are going to think I'm full of crap, but I've had a couple of them.
You are full of crap. Definitely full of shit.
When I was a kid, I lived in Michigan for a couple of years, where my parents are from, and we had lived in an old farmhouse in Barrington. I think it's built like the 1920s, and every generation of kids, like every decade, somebody died. There's a small pond and a bridge on this 40-acre farm right on the main road on M66.
Fuck,
people
live there.
Yes, it's beautiful, but kids died there every year. And me and my brother were the first ones to break, not every decade or so. Me and my brother were the first ones to break that trend. And my brother almost died. He was going off the sled, and he shot into the highway and almost got run over an 18-wheeler. He turned the sled at the last second and missed him by like 2 feet.
Holy shit. So it's almost like a curse. It's not, you say a kid dies all the time. Is it because of like sickness or?
Every 10 or 15 years since the house got built, it happened. But I heard the adults talking about, being haunted. Me and my brother were in the second story of this old farmhouse, just being stupid little kids and talking crap. Said, there ain't no ghost. If you're here, show us. Books flew off the shelf at us.
Ghostbuster style, right in the library. Oh, man.
Scared us because we're like, 7 or 8 years old. We take off running downstairs. Then I had a thing where I had this, I don't want to say her name because I had a psycho ex-girlfriend. And we used to fight a lot and had to get away. Moving, right? But we got into it, and her brother had died, and everybody said that he was haunting her house because he was standing in the corner. Well, we got in an argument one night. We got in an argument one night, and I saw somebody staring at me at the corner of my eye out of a window, and it looked like her brother. I'm like, that kind of freaked me out. But I ended up going to bed, and she's crashed on the couch. I'm sitting there asleep, and all of a sudden I feel a blanket sliding off of me. Now, I'm not making this up. It's the scary part. And I think it's her messing with me because she's being I don't want to say the word. But I grab the blanket, and I snatch it back up, and it snatches off. I jump up, and I look around. I'm in this bedroom by myself.
Wow.
I open the door. She's across she had a really long living room. She was on the couch asleep. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Come here. A little later that night, she came in and we were sleeping, and all of a sudden I can't breathe. I feel like somebody's choking me. And I literally reached over and slapped her. And she looked over and said, Bill, let him go. Like, I instantly could breathe. I'm like, this is crazy.
She said, Bill, let him go?
Her brother's name was Bill. She said, Bill, let him go. And all of a sudden I could breathe. That sounds crazy. It was almost like he was choking me in my sleep. I was like, this is...
I've heard of ghost attacks. I've been, doing this for fucking years, man, and talking to people. Holy, he didn't like you.
That whole family is crazy. But the last one I could think of was, unfortunately, my girlfriend's sister died. She's like 36, 37 years old. She had diabetes and was very unhealthy. Well, we were sitting in the room with her at UNC Chapel Hill, and I kept seeing her sister at the corner of my eye standing next to her body. Oh. And then I come to find out, I didn't say anything, but I kept snapping my head over because I couldn't see if I looked. It's like peripheral. Come to find out, she was adopted. So her adopted sister, she went to Texas to see her sister. Her sister, I never told her this story. Then her sister told her the same story. And then she told me what her sister said. And I'm like, holy crap, I had the same thing. Me and her sister both had the same experience without telling each other. But she herself didn't see it, but me and her sister both did. So it's kind of crazy the way that worked out.
It sounds like you're kind of like open, like a sensitive to that, to an experience. Like they almost know that you can kind of see it. So, hey, go to him. That's why I just think with you guys being on the road so much and doing all these gigs at these places, maybe you guys not had an attachment, but maybe had an experience. Maybe you, I don't know, Fought the Undertaker or something. Paul Bearer came out. Oh yes, the big glue. Oh.
He's a really good guy, man. We did a show with him, and he was so awesome to work with.
Shut the fuck up. You work with Percy Pringle?
Yeah, Percy Pringle. We did a show in Greensboro, and it had Matt Hardy was there. He was there. Was there anybody else? I'm trying to think. They all get mixed up in my head now. But
my
I couldn't
old
work.
lady loves Matt's wife, Reba. She thinks she's so hot. Matt Hardy's wife, Reba, there. She's always working out on TikTok. She's like, Reba's working out.
She's like, boy, that's us. Yeah. But I lost my train of thought. But what was I saying?
I forget.
Nothing, as usual.
I don't. Nobody knows.
Diego,
Nobody knows.
what about you, brother? I know we've talked before. You've had some experiences, right?
I have personal, but never in the wrestling. I think the only time we come close back when my buddy and I, we used to travel a lot. Nothing ever really happened, but you usually saw a lot of weird shit late at night driving on the road.
Oh,
And,
weird shit on the road, I bet. You've seen some shit, haven't you? Yeah, you guys have.
I'm not just talking about the people that live there in these areas. I'm talking about things that should not be on that side of the road that are there. And but the only time, as for me, kind of a related wrestling story, I met a girl at a show, C-Jeb, and she was crazy too.
Yeah, they tend to be that way.
So this one, she lived in Roanoke, and first rule of Fight Club: don't date no girl from Roanoke. I don't know if that's true or not. I just made that shit up. So it's late at night. I'm driving, and then we're gonna get to the new book here in a second. And what I thought it was about 30 to 45 minutes worth of driving. I'm looking at the clock is whatever time, and I'm going as late. The drive keeps going and going. It's like, holy shit, I feel like I've been driving for an hour. Only 2 minutes passed by, Adam. I have no clue what happened from one time to another, but it seemed like I was driving forever. And I'm pretty good when I'm driving. I'm pretty have my wits about me, but it was...
That's the opposite of getting abducted by an alien where you feel like time just went by and it's been 5 hours. It's
right.
the opposite effect.
This is kind of like the opposite effect where I thought I'd been driving for at least 45 minutes to an hour. Turned out to only be 2 minutes. I can't explain what happened, but for sure I can tell you
Some good drugs.
I drove. Never while I drove. Never while I drove. But yeah, that's about as crazy as it got. It wasn't until later on. I had him in my youth and some of my teens, but it's been, the older I get, the more and more these things are happening. And that's something I'm probably going to talk to you about because some crazy shits have been happening here for a while. But that's a story for another day. Now, Jeb, let me ask you this question now, because this is where the heat starts with the big glute. Your new book that's just come out, Gluteus Maximus versus Rolland Dyce. Set in a different time in history, a different style of writing. What gave you the influence to bring in not only the great glute himself, but to write about this time in history?
What's up with that?
I was thinking of different ideas, and outside of that, we're trying to write books. Where do you come up with the stories? And I thought about wrestling. We have lots of storylines. I hate to break anybody's heart if they didn't know what storylines were. That we kind of have these little TV shows we tell, but that would be great if you could take some of the wrestling characters and base a story around them, because we had some really good characters. And, I want to talk crap about Sandy, but I can't right now because I called him up and he didn't know what I was going to do. I just asked if I could use the name. He said yes. He hasn't even read the book yet, so he doesn't know what kind of
stuff. It's not about me?
But it should be
about me. It has my name in it. It's got your name in it. It should be about wrestling. It's not about wrestling.
Anyway,
are you serious? It ain't about wrestling at all?
There's some wrestling involved in it.
Not even about wrestling. Not even about me. Not even interesting at all.
Anyway, I set it back in the time of season, man. The Gluteus ends up being Caesar's right-hand man, his best soldier, and they go to invade Greece. Well, they got to face, it's not Leonidas, it's Rolland Dyce and his band of Spartans. And at some point, you guys actually kind of win because you end up capturing him and taking Dyce back to Rome, and he's got to fight in the Colosseum. He becomes a gladiator, and the whole goal of the book is kind of like, you ever heard of the 10 labors of Hercules or 12, whatever it was, where you gotta do things to win your freedom back? It's kind of the same
Club,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got to have 10 fights, and each fight gets harder. And his goal is the very end. He's going to fight Gluteus Maximus. If he can kill the Gluteus Maximus, he can win his freedom. But that's not kind of the way it works out. I don't want to spoil it too much.
Well, I guess that's how wrestling started, Greco-Roman, right? That's how Greco-Roman wrestling. That's how wrestling started. So I guess
that's right.
It's kind of fair.
So you kind of have a little bit of a Digstown vibe to it, Louis Gossett Jr. Because he fought that was like that round robin boxing match, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, they were fighting for a guy had like messed the other boxer up and won like $3 million and owned the whole town. It's kind of the same concept. I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, that's it.
Oh.
You ever seen that movie, Adam? Digstown?
Never heard of it. It's based on a true story. Is that a real story? Some dude won all that money of enough boxing matches?
I have no clue, but it was Louis Gossett Jr. He was an Iron Eagle. That's the guy from Iron Eagle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. No,
much. There was a big famous like boxer, and they drugged his water, and everybody bet against him because everybody knew he was going to win. So they bet on the other guy, drugged the water, and messed him up, and he lost the fight. So that's kind of how that guy became rich.
Wow. Hey, like Ric Flair says, by any means necessary, right? You gotta, not kidding. That's fucking no kidding. Wow, that's crazy.
So let me ask you this. Respectively, I asked, why glute?
Me and Glute go back to like 1999-ish, and we've had a lot of matches. And I just got thinking. I said his character's already written. He's a glowman. That's a big word, ain't it? He's a Roman. He's like a gladiator. He's the big powerful soldier. He's got the dress. I mean the kilt, or I'm sorry, the toga on. Whatever you want, like it looks like a dress. My character. I decided I had to do something with my character because we wrestled so many times. I figured why not fight in a book? So I just turned my guy into a Spartan and decided, are you leaving? Oh, sorry about that. But I figured why not have a fight in a book? And I kind of wrapped it around. I kind of wrapped it around the fact that his character was more of a Roman soldier, and I just kind of based everything around that. And that's how my character became a Spartan.
Oh, nice. Thanks for the backstory. Now, did you give him a hope spot?
Oh yeah, he's pretty much the most powerful warrior on the planet in this book. So everybody knows that when Gluteus Maximus shows up, that you're about to die.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
He doesn't like battles.
He's pointing his death finger at you now. It kind of reminds me of real life. It reminds me of Gwar, the band Gwar, because I think there was a Gluteus Maximus in that band. They all wore fucking. I've never heard of Gwar, metal band, but GWAR. You ever heard of it? Yeah, they wore the suits like that. And
Yeah.
It reminds me of that a little bit. Plus, of course, the real gladiator shit. So that's cool. So you went right from vampires to gladiators, man. I seen in the group chat you were talking about the vampire books. You caught the attention of the demonologist there, James, who went to Romania. He was all about that.
He's got some cool stuff. The pictures of being over towards Dracula's castle. I'm like, okay, I'm jealous because I kind of want to go that way, but
I wouldn't mind coming up. Is that a bucket list for you? It's got to be Romania.
Too, because every Halloween there's that party at Dracula's castle. You can actually go and attend it. It's just you got to have the money to get there. That. Yeah, look it up. There's a party every year. It's a Halloween party.
Wow, that's what's the best place to be on Halloween besides Dracula's castle, Diego?
I couldn't think of a better spot.
No, I mean there can't be. You kind of top the charts there, man. So,
but I definitely.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to come up and see Adam in Maine. I want to go see Stephen King's place and where they filmed the movies. That would be very interesting to go and actually see the location.
I appreciate that. It's something that not to be about me. Long story short, I've been through a lot. I died in a car accident a couple of years ago. A year after my mom died, I got hit in the head-on collision and I died for a little bit. And being 44, not really any kids or nothing. I got my girl who's got kids, but I'm not going to sit here and just milk away. So I just decided to do the tour thing and the booking thing, and it's the vodcast thing, and it's picking up. So the tour thing, dude, if you'd come, I'd definitely give you a great deal. Danny and Lauren Perez from Connecticut, they drive around in a hearse. They make Ouija boards from coffin wood. I gave them they flew all the way into Bangor. Now, Bangor International Airport is where they film the Langoliers and the scene in the Pet Cemetery when Rachel comes home. That's the Bangor Airport. You ever seen the Langoliers? Those things that eat the fucking thing there? That was
that'd be
filmed
awesome.
there. And if you look at the map, right in back of that is Stephen King's house. It's Jackson Street. That's the storm drain for Pennywise. If you look in both movies, it says Jackson Street. It's fucking right down by the road of Stephen King's house. He admits that's his inspiration was that drain looking down and thinking of so all that stuff, Jeb. I'd love to meet you, get a burger with you, and go check out some sites, brother.
We got to plan that. I'm actually going to have some free time. I'm going to have a shoulder surgery, so I'm going to be out of work for a while. I might have to make a little trip up.
Please do, man. I mean, I think flights are cheaper now. If honestly, I don't live in a big place, but I got enough room for you to crash on my couch for free if you want.
Sweet.
And yeah, man, bring Diego down. We'll fucking party it up. We'll do some wrestling hardcore moves in the mat in my house.
Sounds like a good time to me.
No, I'm not messing with Shook because he's a jiu-jitsu master, so I'm out.
I wouldn't say jiu-jitsu. I have a black belt in the skill system. I do a lot of Krav Maga stuff now. That's a lot of fun. With friends who are MMA fighters. I know a guy that he's an MMA instructor. I believe he had a guy at the UFC level. I don't know what his name was or how far he made it, but he got there. Like I said, one of my best friends is my teacher, and he's a former national kickboxing champion. So I have a lot of fun with it.
Wow. You're all involved in that. Yeah, you got a lot going on. I do want to say real quick, shout out to Diego for dude. For your new the network, man, the KG network, and proud of you, man.
Thanks, man. That was somebody helped me down the line, and it's one of those things. Hey, you and I were always big fans. This is kind of our creed where you help anybody down the line. This is one of those things that let's kick some ass. Like I wrote you there, and somebody who I had on the previous pod that I used to have. I kept in contact with him, and it's one of those things that, let me help you out. I like what you do. And he reached out to somebody, and they say, I like your work. I like to sign you on the network. And then I just started sending him the episodes. It is, the rest is history, as you see from there. And no, I'm very happy. And also, I'd like to thank you, Adam, because not only we're in business together and we're partners in a lot of things, but my Facebook page and the numbers of followers and likes have gone up ever since I've been with you. So that's also helped me as far as getting my voice out there in my face. So I owe you a debt of gratitude on that one.
You know what, dude? Raph, Diego, you sent Jeb my way first and foremost, and not to mention Dustin, and it's sometimes I'm like, I don't want to share too much of one's. I don't want to share less of another. I want to make sure it's all equal. You're all my kids, but some are doing more than others. So it's like, okay. And right now, man, you deserve it. You edit. You promote, and then I get you guests like Jim Brown, who shares your stuff. Thomas Patrick shares your stuff, and us as the family all share each other's stuff. Jeb comes in chat. Next thing you know, he's everybody's vampire friend. You know what I mean? And then Samai, the black chick there, my enchantress, the one that I had on there, the one that brings the candles and stuff. She goes, I love the diversity. She goes, you have authors, you have wrestlers, you have belly dancers, podcast hosts. So I feel like historically haunted booking is like, I'm not going to just let anybody in. I want to make sure the vibes are good. I don't want big heads. We're all in it to win it, but there's nothing wrong with helping each other out. And dude, Diego, you share so much stuff. Jeb, when you're not sharing hilarious memes, just like Diego, pickle soda or whatever weird stuff, you guys are sharing serious stuff, which is pretty neat. So I love you guys, man. I appreciate you being a part of this. And I can't wait to get Jeb some book signings, man. Get you out there and get these books going and get you some meet and greets. And come to Maine. I'll give you the tour. I'll give you a great deal. We're going to pizza pie and some beer and laugh it up.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Yes.
Yeah, speaking of meet and greets, Jeb, I have you coming up in West Virginia sometime in October. And
yes, I believe it's I don't want to misquote, but the 26th maybe? The 28th, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's the 26th or 28th. It's going to be Crypto Halloween 3 in Ransom, West Virginia. Snarly Yao is the one that puts on these great events, and you got you a table there, brother. It's the first time I haven't seen you since 2009. It's going to be a great family reunion.
Awesome.
And for the listeners of Let's Find Out that they should be familiar now with Tepes and Akachi, and now they'll be reading the book Gluteus Maximus versus Rolland Dyce. And last I spoke to you, or text, by the way, actually, you were talking about you have a lot of other stories that might be coming down the pipes. Can you give us a sneak peek what's coming up next?
Actually, I wish I was a little bit more stable on scatterbrain, but the next book I'm coming out with is probably going to be about a voodoo shaman named Papa Gumbo. He's going to be kind of a Baron Samedi, Papa Shango type character. I've been working on that one the most. I got another one called The Ride, and it's about the Mothman killing people in West Virginia riding, on the Hatfield McCoy trails.
That's Brass Boy. Yeah, Mothman.
Because I got a group that we go ride. We're actually going to be in West Virginia March 14th through the 17th, just riding side by side. So we're going to take some of the stories, like my buddy decided to put water into the reservoir of my side by side because it was low. Well, you can't do that, and it overheated. And it took me an hour and a half to get off the trails, and we're in the middle of the dark, and it's pitch black, and everything you've ever thought of runs through your mind. We're trying to get off the trail system. I'm going to add that in there, and just a bunch of fun stuff, and a bunch of my buddies that I ride with. I'm going to kill all of them in the book. So just because I care about them.
You guys, both you guys, dude, you both went from pro wrestling, and I don't know, you're obviously your regular life before then, but now, dude, you're being an author, and Diego's got this podcast thing, and he's hitting a home run. He's got guests till fucking 2040 lined up. And it's it's amazing, bro, that you guys can seriously. People go, "Oh, wrestling is the only motif. Wrestling, just big, big tough meatheads." But what you guys are doing is very distinguished, very respected, and I'm so glad to be part of it. I need to order me some of Diego's hats, by the way, that he's got out. I'm gonna order one of them soon, and I want to order some of your books. Jeb, do you do autographs? Will you sign the books and stuff? Personalize?
Oh yeah, if you can shoot me your address, man, I got a couple of here. I can mail them out to you.
I love that. We'll talk after the show, and I want to order half from Diego. I don't expect nothing for free. I want to give Diego's giving me so much for free. So I got my income tax in, so it's steak tips tonight, and I'll buy a hat. And there's the beautiful man.
Yep.
See, you be nice to him a little bit, and then the heels turn. Maybe we'll see. So real quick, now Jeb's gone.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, he's here. Oh. Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you what. And I want to ask the Glute too. Give me a couple of horror movies that you dig. What inspires you? What do you like? Halloween, Mike Myers, what deeper shit?
Horror movies.
I love horror movies
in general, I guess. If you're not a horror fan, I guess, but.
Man, what is the last horror movie I've seen? Man, it must be that not memorable.
Uh-oh.
Horror movie. Can I count Marley and Me as a horror movie? I cried. Marley and Me.
Molly and Me.
Yeah, I watch that. The devil works in mysterious ways.
No, I'm not a big. I know, right? I know. Yeah, probably the last. The Halloween movie? Probably. I mean, that's the last movie I seen that was a horror movie. I guess it's all right. I guess.
At the end, they put him in the wood chipper in the middle of the street and just fucking ground him up to coffee beans. Yeah, brutal.
Well, unfortunately, my girlfriend doesn't like horror movies, so I got to find time to watch them. But I grew up. I love the old Frankenstein and Dracula and all that stuff.
Black and white.
I love slashers. I love Jason, Freddy, Bubba, all those guys. I love slashers. I watch those all day. Don't bother me a bit. The B movies like the Critters and that type of stuff back in the 80s, just like the Evil Dead, all that. I love if it's a horror movie.
Favorite King movie. Favorite King adaptation of a movie.
Adaptation. Yeah. I'm trying to think because there's been a bunch of them, and not all of them are horror.
Jeb, you know what I can bring you to? Harmony, Maine is the 1820 sheep woolen mill, Bartlett Mill. It's the oldest sheep woolen mill still running in America. It's where they filmed Graveyard Shift when the big rats
and nice.
Kill people. Yeah, I went there and got a coffee mug, and the guy gave me a tour. Fucking old.
I'm gonna catch heat because when I was a kid, I liked Maximum Overdrive, and I know Stephen King hates that movie, but when I was a kid, I loved it. So I'm gonna probably say Stephen King. I mean, Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum. I'm friends with the dude that owns the Goblin Head. He bought it and refurbished the big Goblin Head.
Where's that at now?
He owns it. He brings it to conventions. I want to bring him on my show, but he's got the big green Goblin Head, Green Goblin from the truck.
Awesome.
The one that took that dude's
Nice.
face off when it killed him and fucking smashed his head.
I always felt bad as a kid because they had an ice cream truck just ran around running people over. And when they blew I was like watching the movie as a kid. And when they blew the missile into the ice cream truck, I felt bad for the ice cream truck. I'm like, it didn't hurt nobody. It's covered in blood, but I'm like, it doesn't hurt anybody.
What a fucking waste! Those are all good Tootsie Pops or whatever they're called. Those are
Yes, exactly.
The soda machine shooting cans out, and the dude hits him in the balls. Goofy, go bends over. Oh.
You figure after you get hit a couple of times, you try to dodge those, but
no, these days it takes it to the forehead. Doof.
And what you can tell it was the 80s because if you watch the movie, you can tell those are empty Coke cans.
Oh yeah, that's 80s, dude. It's the best.
But I'll leave that corny stuff.
Marley and Me, but that's pretty good.
That's the best decade. The best music, best wrestling, best horror movies are the 80s.
I agree. Agrees. Yeah. Yes.
See, so and before we go, Adam, I know you release shows every Thursday night live, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You have some terrific guests that come on. Who do you got coming up next in the next few weeks?
Next week is Tony Spera on the Leap Year this Thursday, the owner of Annabelle, The Conjuring, all that stuff. He's a big part of he does, of course, the Warren Con thing is going to be in Gettysburg this year. Awesome spot. So he'll be on. I'm going to have Carl Troop on in about 2 months. He played in the alien suit. When the mouth comes out to Sigourney Weaver, it was him. So, yes, I love these Hollywood actors. It's pretty fucking dope. So I got a couple musicians, the lead singer of Acid Witch. It's a band from Detroit, Michigan. They believe in the Nain Rouge, the little red devil. Acid Witch is a big, really, I like them. They're really fucking, it's like Rob Zombie, but deeper, you know what I mean? He's got the keyboard and shit. It's fucking kill your fucking family music, but I like it, So that'll be good to have him on. And then, of course, regular people. I have my clients on, so I'm going to have these fucking ugly mugs on soon. And I think I might throw it out to the glute one of these days, see if he'll take me up on it.
He can tell you the story about the penis plex and everything.
Oh, well, see, that's right. The Buku snake. That's my favorite finishing move. So that's good. that'll give me a half ounce of crack in the right neighborhood if I'm lucky. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I guess I'm still doing the podcast thing. I'm trying to reach out to whoever. I don't want to get the same fucking people every weekend. So I'm trying to get new. And the movie star people are cool. Like I had the chick that in Halloween 2 months ago, she was Mike Myers' first kill in the original Halloween. It was his sister. Remember, she was naked in the room. She goes, Michael, and he kills her. She was in Playboy in 1974 too, Sandy Johnson. She was a blast. I got her as a friend now. So it's cool to meet people and just do shit. And man, I tell you, why not? Other than that, I'm up here in Maine eating fucking squirrel soup. So you might as well talk to someone.
You're a survivor, brother. That's why I love you.
Blue, you want some squirrel soup in a joint? You come up to me and I'll hook you up, my friend. We'll go powerbomb some people off some glass tables or something.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Nice.
Jeb, I love having you in the family. Of course, Diego, Glute, you're a fucking blast. All episode long, I'm cracking up. Appreciate your humor and you're good people. So thank you guys for letting me come on and getting to know you guys, man. Appreciate it. It was fun.
Good to meet you face to face, kind of.
Yes. Like I said, you come to Maine. Any of you guys come to Maine, you want to see some cool shit? There was a guy, Al Brady, that was killed after Bonnie and Clyde died. He was America's Most Wanted. He came to Bangor. J. Edgar Hoover and them came up from Boston, FBI, killed him in the streets as a brick. It says Al Brady was killed in 1937, and he's buried at the cemetery by Hannibal Hamlin, where Stephen King played the Reverend in Pet Sematary. May the Lord keep you. That's the Bangor Cemetery. It's all the same fucking spot. I know it all. So come down.
I've got to go to Maine. I've got to go to Maine.
It could be worse, man. Taking the drive to Hancock where the Gage was killed. Get the baby in the fucking truck. And Donnie, the guy that drove the red truck, he's my client too. He sponsors my show. He gave me a check. So one of Stephen King actors is my fucking client plus my sponsor. Like, okay, dude. I could have died in that car accident 4 years ago, but I'm here for my mama and fucking could be worse. I could be in a psycho ward in a padded room, but I'm talking to you cats getting baked. So I appreciate you. Don't make me cry.
That's good. It's good therapy.
We appreciate you.
Here's and, Glue.
Yeah.
All of you, man. You guys fucking glued me laughing all fucking show. Love the wrestling stories. I could listen to that for another hour. So
we'll do it.
I'm gonna get the fist poke all the time on purpose. Okay, send them my way, boys. Bend over, spread them cheeks. Pow.
Equilibrium test at its best, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Glute, Jeb, I haven't seen you guys in, oh my gosh, for a very long time. Glad to see you, even though it's here on StreamYard. I'm very happy to see you. It's a beautiful thing today. It's a beautiful Sunday for this. And thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you,
Hail
sir.
Caesar.
This has been another excellent episode of Let's Find Out with Diego. Please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, YouTube, and we're also on Rumble. Like, share, and subscribe. So hey now, Let's Find Out is now on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. Catch the show on Saturdays at 2 a.m. That's 2 a.m. Eastern Time. For more information, please visit kgradb.com. That's kgradb.com. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Until next time, my friends.
Copyright CoHostDiego. All content for Let's Find Out is the property of CoHostDiego and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, CoHostDiego, or Let's Find Out. The information shared on Let's Find Out is provided on an as-is basis with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.